Welcome to a journey to Lake Superior near Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario in November, a time when the lake reveals its mighty character. Known for its powerful November gales, the lake has been stage for many maritime stories, including the tragic sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald, claiming 29 lives. Today we'll explore this majestic yet fierce body of water, witnessing its raw beauty and the force of nature. Join me as we dive into the history and the power of Lake Superior. After soaking in that incredible aerial view of Lake Superior, we couldn't resist checking out the spot where we found an ice cave last winter. But this time, instead of frozen silence, we were greeted by roaring waves and winds so strong it felt like the lake was showing off its power. It's crazy how the same place can feel completely different with each season. As we got closer, the sound of the waves just kept getting louder. The wind whipped across the shoreline, and the spray from the waves hit us even from a distance. It was wild, but honestly, kind of mesmerizing. Standing there, it's impossible not to think about how powerful this lake really is. It's beautiful, but it demands respect. The wind started picking up, and before we knew it, snowflakes were dancing all around us. The weather here changes faster than you can blink. One moment it's snowing, the next the sun breaks through like nothing happened. I decided to climb up the rocks to get a better look at the crack from above. As I reached the top, the snow came back again, heavier this time. The wind was so strong it almost pushed me off balance. Not dangerous, but enough to remind me who's in charge out here. It's moments like these that make you realize how alive this place is. The lake, the wind, the snow, they all seem to have their own rhythm, their own mood. You just have to go with it. I am a pretty careful explorer. I've got a lot of plans in my life, so I don't take unnecessary risks out here. When I reached the edge of the crack, I dropped to my knees for better stability while filming. The wind was still howling, but from that spot, the view was absolutely stunning. Below me, the waves were crashing against the rocks with incredible force, sending sprays of water high into the air. It was one of those moments where you just stop and take it all in. The sound, the movement, the sheer power of nature right in front of you. Standing there, or rather kneeling there, I felt both tiny and completely alive at the same time. In the next few moments, I tried to take a good shot of myself standing right on the edge. But the wind had other plans. It was so strong I had to pull my hood up and my raincoat started flapping wildly in every direction. It definitely wasn't the clean cinematic shot I had in my mind, but more like a behind the scenes blooper. But that's the thing about being out here. Reality doesn't always look perfect, and that's what makes it real. The wind was harsh, the cold biting, but somehow that made the moment even more authentic. Meanwhile, my husband Artem was exploring the rocks nearby. From where I stood, he looked so small against the massive cliffs and the crashing waves, but at the same time, there was something powerful about it. Living up here in northern Ontario teaches us a lot about strength. The cold, the wind, the wild energy of this place. It's not easy, but it's incredibly rewarding. Watching Artem out there, completely at home at this rugged landscape, made me realize how lucky we are to live here. We are really happy we made the move to this part of the world. Every day feels like a new adventure, and every place we explore reminds us why we fell in love with the North. Now it was my turn to get closer to the water, to feel the spray, the cold, the raw power of the lake. The waves were crashing hard against the rocks, each one louder than the last. I stood there for a while, just watching, feeling the wind on my face and the chill creeping through my gloves. I think this is a good moment to pause, to let you simply listen to the sound of the waves, because this lake, as beautiful as it is, also carries stories. One of the most famous is the story of the Edmund Fitzgerald. It was a massive freighter, nearly 730 feet long, that sank during a fierce storm on Lake Superior on November 10, 1975. All 29 crew members were lost. The ship was on its way from Superior, Wisconsin to Detroit, carrying iron ore when it was caught in winds over 50 knots and waves more than 25 feet high. To this day, no one knows exactly what caused the ship to go down. Some say it was a structural failure. Others believe it struck a shoal. The wreck was later found in two large pieces on the lake bed, about 530 feet below surface. The story of Edmund Fitzgerald reminds everyone who visits these shores just how powerful and unpredictable these great lakes can be. Standing here watching the waves crash against the rocks, it's easy to imagine how quickly calm can turn into chaos. If you would like to explore more of the Edmund Fitzgerald's history, there is a beautiful trail called the Edmund Fitzgerald Lookout in Pancake Bay. From that point, you can see the breathtaking view of Lake Superior and the approximate area where the ship went down. The trail is amazing in every season. We have hiked it both in summer and in the fall, and each time it felt completely different. The colors, the light, even the sound of the forest. If you're curious to see more, I've got a full video from that hike, and I will leave the link down in the description. It's definitely worth checking out if you love wild places and a bit of history mixed in. And we continued our today's exploration, following a little trail on the shore, curious to see where it would lead. The sound of the waves rolling over the stones was hypnotic, a rhythm that seemed to echo through the whole bay. We walked until the path disappeared into the water. There was no way to keep going without getting completely soaked, so we laughed, turned around, and decided to climb the cliffs once again. When we climbed up the cliffs, everything looked completely different. From above, the waves didn't seem as wild or angry anymore, just distant and calm, like the lake had finally taken a deep breath. What really caught our attention this time was the sky. The clouds were moving fast, carrying the streaks of snow across the lake. You could actually see the snow drifting over the water, sudden bursts of white sweeping by, then breaking apart to let a few rays of sunlight through. It was one of those moments when nature feels alive, changing every second, never the same twice. With such an incredible view, we decided it was the perfect time to take a little break. We sat down on the rocks, unwrapped our sandwiches, and poured some hot tea. The kind of simple moment that feels extra special when you are outdoors. And then, to our surprise, we saw a ship out on the horizon. It was barely visible through the snow, fading in and out as the squalls passed, and instantly it reminded me of the stories of the Edmund Fitzgerald. The scene felt almost surreal, the lake stretching endlessly, the snow drifting across the water, and that lonely ship slowly disappearing in the mist. It was like watching a history come alive for a brief moment. That sight became the highlight of our journey. With full hearts and cold fingers and noses, we returned back towards our Bronco Sport, ready to warm up and let the day's adventure sink in. Looking back, we are so grateful for this season of adventures. Every trail, every wave, every quiet moment in between. Even on the coldest days, there is always something beautiful waiting to be found. And now, as winter arrives, we are ready for new stories, new places, and new memories to share. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we will see you soon in our winter adventures.